Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl, Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. Hopefully you guys are having a lovely Wednesday. And I know right here in Baltimore is nice and sunny, but you know what? We're going to sit here and I'm going to test your math knowledge. So if you are currently thinking about taking the GED, the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, the TEAS test, Hayes? No, not Hayes. HESI test, any examination that's going to require you to do a little bit of geometry, this is the live for you. So as you guys are coming on in, go ahead, have your pencils out, maybe get some paper, but this one should be a nice and easy one. But remember, if you haven't seen math in forever since you were a fetus, this is also the live for you too. So come on in. This is a safe space. We're going to get things done. Go ahead and like the live, share the live. And if you are a part of my community, just go ahead and hit the heart just so I know that you're here. But if you want to be part of my community, go ahead and hit the heart that's right next to my name, my profile name. And then just go ahead and sign in as one of my blessed little fans. All right, so let's get on in. So here we go. So number one, if the sum of two angles equals 90 degrees, what are they called? Are there A, right angles, B, complementary, C, obtuse angles, or D, parallel angles? So if the sum of two angles equals 90 degrees, what are they called? A, B, C, or D? Go ahead and put that right into the chat. This is it. This is all we're going to be doing. Okay. All right, so we have Justin with an A. I don't like your name, but it's Lou. Saying B. Christy with A. Eddie saying B. Okay, Katie, right angles. Ooh, the Kinky Carpenter. Okay. Saying A. Matt saying A. Olivia saying A. So let's take a look. So the sum of two angles, what they are called, they're not just right angles. Okay, right angles is one angle is equal 90 degrees. At least we all know it wasn't going to be C nor D. But the sum of two angles equal 90 degrees, they're called complementary angles. So if I have an angle as such, let's call this, let's say this is A, B, C. Okay, this is a right angle. But if I have maybe like an angle bisector, that means this angle 1 and this angle 2, if I add those two angles up, it will equal 90 degrees. So they are called complementary. All right, here we go for number 2. So round this lovely number to the nearest whole number. I don't want to read the number because that will kind of give it away. So round that number to the nearest whole number. Is it A, B, C, or D? None of the above. Okay. So we got Jalen. Was that Becca with the A? Big G Money. Hi, Big G Money. Okay, all of them with the A's. Christy with a C. There was someone with a B. Okay, I'm seeing quite a few A's, and I have a couple C's, couple B's. Rosa saying with a B. Okay, I got some C's and I got some A's. All right, so if we're rounding to the nearest whole number, maybe if I zoom in a little bit more, you might be able to see it. Okay, so this is a comma, but this is a decimal point. Okay, so if we're going to round to the nearest whole number, that means I need to look at my 10th spot, which is that 4. So here's the old saying. If it's 5 and above, that means I'm looking at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If it's 5 and above, we give it a shove. That means we add 1 to the previous slot. But if it's 4 and below, that means 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That means we ignore all of this and we just keep what we currently have. So our answer is actually going to be 10,000 335, which will be part A. Okay, so for all my A's out there, good job. All right, so let's take a look at number 3. So this is basically what we're doing for today. We're just kind of looking at some answers. You guys answer it, I make a correction for you. So for number 3, the sum of the measures of the angles of the shape below is A, 90 degrees, B, 45 degrees, C, 180 degrees, or D, 360 degrees. All right. So I'm seeing some A's. I think that was from last time. I got some A's, got a couple of C's, got Beverly with a B, got a few D's. Okay, we're coming with the D's, All right, going back to geometry. Okay, you think I'm teaching people wrong? Okay. So we got our D's, we got our C's, we got A's. All right. So the sum of the measures of the angles. Okay. So we're looking at all 4 angles. So we're looking at a quadrilateral. Okay, so we're looking at a quadrilateral. And one thing I know about quadrilaterals, it's got 4 sides, got 4 angles. If I even cover up one, I got a triangle. All triangles, regardless of what kind of triangles they are, all 3 angles equals 180 degrees. So that means the sum of these angles is 180 degrees. Don't worry about this 90-degree angle right here, okay? So if we have a triangle here, and we also have a triangle here, this is 180 degrees. So if we add those 2 up, we're going to get my 360. So one thing to remember, anytime you have a quadrilateral, quad meaning 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, the sum of their angles are always going to be 360. Okay? Always going to be 360. All right. Number 4. Okay. So, an equilateral triangle, if 2 sides have the sum of 50 inches, what is the length of the third side? Is it A, 30 inches, B, 25 inches, C, 50 inches, or D, 55 inches? What grade do I teach? So I teach everything from 7th grade up to adults. Okay, so Debbie with the B, Rosette, hello Rosette. Okay, find me jeans, same B. Got a 25, we got our B's, we got a couple C's. We have some C's, we have some B's, we have some D's. Someone's saying congratulations. Okay, Becca, yes, equilateral means equal length. Yep, you're not mistaken. Good job. Okay, so you lied, you're saying it's B. Why are you lying? Just lying to me. Okay, so Black Beauty with the C's. Okay, Yossi, Joe, Franklin, we all got our B's. Need to reread. That's okay. At least we're getting that now. We're seeing that right here, right now. So you're also changing to B's? Yep. All right, so let's take a look. Now, I know initially a lot of people wanted to say C. You saw equilateral triangle, and you're like, all right, cool. Equilateral means all 3 of the sides are exactly the same length, same measure. So you're thinking like, oh, okay, well, this is 50, this is 50. That means this third one is 50. This is what it says. So we have 2 sides have the sum of 50 inches. So each side is not 50 inches. The sum of 2 sides is 50 inches. So that means that has to be 25 and that has to be 25. So that the measure of the third side, since it's equilateral, that means all 3 sides are the same. So the answer will be 25. All right. Yep. See? Nice and easy, relaxing, no stress, no craziness. It's just basic math, okay? Just a little bit of math. All right. So for the next one, what is the volume of an aquarium that measures 16 inches long by 16 inches wide by 18 inches long, 6 inches wide, and by 11 inches high? I was like mixing up my numbers. So is it A, 1100 square inches, B, 1188 cube inches, C, 1233 square inches, or D, 1238 cube inches? So is it A, B, C, or D? Hello. Okay, so I got a couple people with B, my user, Jayla B. Okay, we got some B's, we got some D's. Okay, Becca, you're right on top of it. There you go. Good, we got some B's. Good evening, Angela. How are you? We got our 1188. Good. We got some B's, whole bunch of B's. I'm loving it. Okay. So is volume and area the same? No. No. Volume is dealing with basically the cubics. Okay. We're looking at 3 dimensions. So like if I want to say for this figure here, I want to know how much, if I wanted to fill this up, how much information or how much stuff can I use to fill it? To fill will be volume. Area will be just looking at, let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. We'll be just looking at what is the area of this flat surface right here. Okay, so my length times width. Okay, so volume is what it fills. So that's something that can help you out. So good question. I forgot who asked that. So when you see the word volume, you should be looking at cube inches, cubic. Okay, so that's why A and C is out. So now we actually have to do, since all of it is inches, so we don't have to do any conversions. So you're basically multiplying 18, 6, and 11 together. Okay. And once you do that multiplication, you can actually multiply, if you want, the 18 and the 6. That gives you 108. And then with that 108, I'm going to multiply by 11. And the 11 gives me 88. So my answer will be B. So when you're doing standardized tests like this, GED, ASVAB, any high school equivalency test, because I know there's some out there, you always want to do PO, process of elimination. What can you eliminate? So instead of looking at 4 answer choices, we got it down to 2. Okay, so try to do the PO. And then while you're doing this, try to use manually, because I know for the GED, the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, you cannot use a calculator for. SAT, they have they have the Desmos calculator now because it's online. TEAS test and HESI, yes, you can use a scientific calculator. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Oh, good job, Diana. Congratulations. Pass on the love to her. No problem. All right. So what is the circumference of a circle that has a radius of 5 feet? Is it A, 3.39 feet? Is it B, 33 and 9/10 feet? Is it C, 3 and 1400 feet? Or is it D, 31.4 feet? Okay. So I got a couple of D's, a few D's, a lot of D's, a B and a D. Go ahead, make a decision. Okay, look at your options and make a decision. Okay, so we got our D's, we got our D's, we got our D's. Okay, excellent. Right, so for us, we need to know circumference. So circumference, since they're giving us radius, circumference is 2 pi r. Okay, so we know that our feet is going to be 5. So we basically have 2 times 5 times pi. And 2 times 5, that gives me 10. So we have 10 pi. But we know pi as 3.141, and there's a whole bunch, right? But if we're going to multiply this by 10, that means this decimal place is going to move 1 to the right. Okay, we're making it bigger. So we don't even have to do the whole thing. If you know that when you multiply by 10, you're moving it 1 space over to the right, which will give you 31.4, in this case, feet. Okay, so your answer will be D. Yep. So sometimes you have to do a whole lot of calculations. Sometimes you really don't. Okay, let's take a gander. So Yana, for the pi r squared, that's for area. Okay, area is your pi r squared. Good question. Okay, is the tenths place or tens place? Tenths, TH with S. All right. Okay, so pi 3.14 is the rounded number of it. So now, for number 7, what is the perimeter of the right triangle below? Now, we're looking for perimeter, rim. So anytime they say finding the perimeter, we're counting or adding up all 3 sides. Okay? They're giving us some information. So they're telling us that we need to find the perimeter of a right triangle. So boom. What can we use to find this missing side? That's what we're missing. Okay, what could we use to find this missing side? Okay, so it's not going to be base times height divided by 2. That's area. Yes, Aubrey, good. Justin, good. Is that Cordell? Good. Okay, it's Stacy. Good. Okay, Barry, good. Here we go. So now we need Pythagorean theorem. So that's my a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So these 2 things are called the legs. So it doesn't matter which one, okay? It really doesn't matter. So we can say this is like our 15 squared plus our 17 squared is going to equal our unknown squared. And I know a lot of us probably, if you're still in school, kind of remember the triplets. This is definitely not one of those triples. I keep calling them triplets. It's the triples. So we're going to do a little bit of calculating. So 15 squared, that gives us 225. 17 squared gives us 289. And you're like, how do you know that? I just memorized those. I like to memorize my cubes, my squares. So now, adding these 2 up, 225 plus 289. So I know 5 and 9 is 14. That's a 4. I'm going to bring down my x squared for a second. Carry it. So 8 times 2, that gives me 10 plus 1, that's 11. Carry the 1. 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 1 gives me 5. So now I got to do the square root because I don't want to know what x squared is. I want to know what x is, which is this unknown side. So now I got the square root of 514. So I know, since we are looking at, we looked at 17 squared, and I know 17 squared is like 289. So it's definitely going to be larger than 17. I can think of 20 squared. So 20 squared, that's 400. So I know it's going to be more than 20. So if we kind of go through it, it's like 22 point something. It's going to be between 21 and, yeah, it's going to be between 22 and 23. Because 21 squared, that gives us 441, okay, which is less than this. And then we have 22 squared, that gives me my doubles, so that'll be 484, okay. 23 squared, that will be 529. So right away, I know it's somewhere between 22 and 23. So if I give it like, say, 22, let's say 0.1 or point something. I just want to do something for right now. Because if I add up my 15, I add my 17, and I add my 22, which I know it's going to be point something, I'm going to look for a number that's going to be close to this answer when we add them up. So I know 5 plus 2, that gives me 7. 7 and 7 is 14. Then 2, 3, 4, 5 gives me 54. But we know that this 22 is not exact. So I want to get something that's relatively close. And the thing that's relatively close is B. And the reason why I'm doing it manually and not just putting in a calculator, it's because when you're doing the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, the TEAS test, you can't use a calculator. So we're going to have to figure out ways to get relatively close so we can make the right decision. Okay. I know, right? Okay. TEAS test, you can use a calculator. TEAS test, you can. All right. Let's try this one. If 2 plus x is greater than or equal to 8, what is the value of x? Is it A, greater than or equal to 6, B, less than or equal to 6, C, 6, or D, 4? Okay, so Barry, you mean A. Got you. Okay, so I'm getting the A's, got a couple C's, got D's, got my A's, got some A's and C's, got some D's. Okay. So we got some A's, we got some C's. You don't know? Thank you. Thank you for your honesty. And if you're not sure, go ahead and put question marks. That's perfectly fine. Okay, because I am going to show you. It's not like I'm going to say, here's the question. All right, thanks everyone for coming in. Bye. Thanks for the live. Like, no, I'm going to show you. All right. Okay. So JoJo, I will be explaining soon. Keep your knickers on your pants. Okay. All right. There you go. Thank you for your honesty. There you go. All right. So we got a combination of A's and C's. So let's take a look. We have 2 plus x is greater than or equal to 8. So we're solving this for x. So that means we need to get that 2 to the other side of the inequality sign. So we can subtract 2. So now we have x is greater than or equal to, because the inequality sign doesn't flip when you're adding and subtracting. It only flips when you're multiplying or dividing by a negative number, which we're not doing. So now we have x is greater than or equal to 6. And it's A. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So while we're here, go ahead and continue to tap because we want to get more people in. Okay. Doing the best we can. This is not going to be a super long live, but it's going to be an informative live. Okay. So if you are a part of my community, go ahead and check in. Now, if you want to be part of my community, come on in. But here's another thing. If you guys have lives, because remember, I did interrupt your life for a moment. Okay. You're like, I just rated in here. So if you want, here we're going to have all of this. You just go here. Okay. And if you can do these things, that would be awesome. So all of my lives from February 2nd, all the way up to not yesterday, because I didn't go live yesterday, all the way up to Monday is all listed. So we might be hitting on some other concepts. You might need some help with rational functions. You might need some help with standard deviation, or you might need some help with a little bit of algebra, area and circumference. So you can come here to get all of my boom. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take this down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. Okay. And yes, it is a free subscription. So let's take a gander. Which of the following fractions is the largest? Okay. Ooh, how are you going to do this without a calculator? You can. Okay. Remember, all you have to do, fractions is nothing but division. Okay. Yep. So if you want, you can do basic division. I got a couple people with C's. I got some with 3/16. I got some D's and D's and D's. East. I got some D's, B's, A's, B's, C or D. Okay. Oh, all right. I was going to say, well, no one picked A. Well, someone did. Okay. Got a couple people with A's. I got some D's. Not sure. Thank you. Watermelon. Okay. Okay. Top of Chicago. All right. So, okay. You meant D. All right. So we got some D's. Do division on paper. Okay. That's exactly what you need to do. All right. Okay. Well, Mary, let's get you adjusted. All right. So let's take a look. So if you're doing division, okay, that's basically what's happening here. Your 2's coming down here, and then you add your point and your 0. So now, how many 5's can go into 2? That would be 0. How many 5's can go into 20? That would be 4. So you got 0.4 for that first one. Doing the same for the next one. All right. So how many 8's can go into 3? Goose egg. So how many 8's can go into 30? Well, 3, which gives me my 24. 30 minus 24 gives me 6. So that means I need to add another 0. So now I can make it 60. So how many 8's can go into 60? That'll be 7. So we got our, 56? Excuse me. And then we got our 4. Add another 0. Bring that bad boy down. How many 8's can go into 40? That'll be 5. Okay. Me personally, if I'm doing this division, I would stop here at the 7. Because right away, we're trying to find the largest. Actually, I would have stopped at the 3. Because once I get that 0.3, and I already have a 0.4, immediately, 3 is not larger than 4. Okay, so that's done. Now, 7/10, that's the same as saying 0.7. So that's looking pretty good. So that means A is done. But now we got our 13/16. So how many 16's can go into 130? I know for sure it's bigger than 7. It's actually going to be 8. Okay. Bring that 4, so that brings it 12. Right there, I know it's bigger. There's another way. There's multiple ways of doing this. I know people are like, oh, but Audrey, if you just think that you have 16 slices and you got 13 out of the 16, you can do it that way. Some people like to see the division. Go ahead, especially if you can't use a calculator. We'll figure out any which way, okay? All right. Number 10. Square root of 25 times the square root of 64. Is my answer A, 35, B, 40, C, 45, or D, 50? Okay, lots of B's. Thank you for the follows. Yep, if you know the multiplication, yep, I got B's, I got C's, I got 40s, I got B's, 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 B's. Tons of B's and tons of 40s. Excellent, excelente, excelente. All right, got a couple random C's, so let's take a look. Square root of 25, square root of 64. Both of them are perfect square roots. So the square root of 25 gives me exactly 5. And we're not looking at positive and negatives, I get you, but we're doing that. Times square root of 64 is 8. 5 times 8, that gives me 40. And my answer is 40. And you're probably saying to yourself, it just felt too easy. So I figured, nope. Okay, so if you're thinking 45, that's 5 times 9. All right, number 11. We have x to the 4th. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you guys, because sometimes the print's a bit much. So we have x to the 4th times, I don't know why they use the x's, because it looks very confusing, right? But it's x to the 4th times x to the 5th times x to the negative 3rd. Is my answer A, x to the 6th, B, x to the 12th, C, x, or D, x to the 23rd? Okay, so I'm seeing a whole series of A's, 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 x to the 6th, A's, 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 A's. Whole bunch of A's. There is like no hesitation right here. No hesitation. Everybody's all on point. Love that. A. Okay. This is how they're getting it. They all have the same base. So when they all have the same base, all you're doing, and you're multiplying, you're adding the exponents. Okay, so when you're multiplying, you're adding the exponents. Now I'm going from left to right. That's the one thing about PEMDAS, screws everybody up. So you have 4 plus 5. So 4 plus 5 gives me 9. And 9 minus 3 gives me 6. So my answer is going to be A, x to the 6th. Okay. Oh yeah, it's kind of fun, right? All right. All right. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the follows, everyone. Great. Let's get with number 12. All right. So another exponential one. Okay, I think you'll be able to see this one. All right, cool. So we have y squared, y to the 3rd, or y cubed, all raised to the 6th power. So is it A, 2y squared, B, 2y to the 3rd, C, y squared, D, y to the 30th? Which do you think? So I'm seeing some B's and I'm seeing some D's. Thank you for the follow. I'm seeing some B's, I'm seeing some D's. Okay, so there's a fight to the battle with C's and D's. Okay, oh, wait, D's are starting to come on strong. All right, with occasional B here and there. Well, at least we all know it's not A and it's not C. We don't have a leading coefficient anywhere up here, so A is immediately eliminated. So for our C's, and actually our B's should be eliminated as well. We don't have any 2's. So B's, done. So when you have an exponent take a look inside the parenthesis, same base, add your exponents. So that would give you y to the 5th. And now we're going to raise it to the 6th power. When you see an exponent, a parenthesis, and an exponent, that's a power to a power, you multiply. Okay, remember our parenthesis is also representing multiplication. So you multiply my exponents. 5 times 6 gives me 30. All right. Okay, no problem. Yep, if you want me to do factoring, I do have some slots for tutoring. Because it seems like that's the route that I have to take. All right, let me unzoom just a little bit or a lot. I think we got it. All right, so if 5 plus 3, okay, so the sum of 5 and 3, 6 divided by 2, 8 minus 1 equals 3 plus 7 times x. Then x equals A, 10.3, B, oh, thank you, 14, C, 16.8, or D, 17.4. Okay, take it step by step. Okay. Thank you for making me achieve my goal. Where am I located? In Maryland. Okay, so I got a whole bunch of C's. C's with some question marks. Okay, got TJ with the C's. Okay, we got Ann saying with her C. Okay, all right, cool. Oh, just go on the internet. You know. Why not here in Canada? I don't know. Do I do virtual tutoring? Yes, I do. So if you guys are interested in tutoring, please go ahead and message me. All right. Well, thank you, C. Teachers like this? I don't know. The problem is testing. Okay. So it's a little bit of anxiety. All right. So let's take a look. So we have 5 plus 3. That gives us our 8. Then we have 6 divided by 2, so that gives us our 3. And we have 8 minus 1, that gives us our 7. And then over here, we have 3 plus 7. Now, I know people that are like, oh, let me distribute the x. Always do inside the parenthesis before you do multiplication. Remember, don't forget about PEMDAS. So this is actually going to be 10x. So if you do 8 times 3, that gives you your 24. And then the 24 times your 7 gives you 168 times 10. Similar to what we were discussing earlier. If we're dividing by 10, we're basically taking the decimal point, which is going to be here on the end, and moving it one space to the left. So that will give us our C, 16.8. Okay, good. All right. You're learning this in school today? Cool. All right. So for 14, if x equals 3, then x cubed times x equals, does it equal A, 73, B, 81, C, 35, or D, 38? If x equals 3, then x cubed times x equals blank. Okay, got a couple of B's and some 81s. Whole bunch of B's. Okay. Got all the B's. Okay, we got 27. Not an option, but we gotta take a look. Okay, we got 81s. Yeah, I'm not doing integrals. All right, we got a whole bunch of B's. There you go. All right, so think about it. Ready? You're multiplying. They have the same base. that means you can add the exponents. If you don't see an exponent here, it's assumed to be a 1. So if I add the exponents, that will give me x to the 4th power. But they're telling me that x is equal to 3. So that means I have 3 raised to the 4th power. Now 3 to the 4th power, that's simply 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And if I want to group them, 3 times 3 gives me 9. And 9 times 9 gives me 81. Okay. All right. Yep. Okay. 15. Okay, so we have 900 times 3 divided by 2. Is your answer A, 920, B, 960, C, 1,240, or D, 1,350? Okay, and it's raining D's up in here. Okay. Oh, wait, someone asked a question. So I just gotta assume that there's an exponent. Yes, user 41. Yep. If you don't see a exponent, assume a 1 is there for the exponents. All right. So I got some D's, a couple people with C's. All right. All right. Never mind. Switched over. We got a person switching. Okay. So you can do this one of two ways. You could multiply the 900 and the 3. So we know that 9 times 3 gives me 27. And then we add the 2 zeros from the 900. Then from here, if you want to divide by 2. So right now, how many 2's can go into 2's? 1 time. Immediately, A and B is out. Okay. So now you got your 2. That gives you your 0. Bring down your 7. How many 2's can go into 7? That'll be 3. That'll give me 6. So now I got that 3. C is out. D is my answer. Click it, bubble it, circle it, move on. Okay? Sometimes we get so caught up, especially with any of these standardized testing, that we get so caught up with, oh, I got to finish my work. When you're a classroom, if you're a classroom student currently, yes, you got to show your work. You know, got the potential of possibly getting some partial credit. But the standardized test, it's either A, B, C, D, and some tests E. Okay, so from here, I would have been like, oh, there's a 13, there's a 3, boom, I'm done. Okay, but if you want me to continue on, so that will give me my 100, 0. Okay. All right. Okay. You're not a math genius. That's okay. Neither am I. I laugh the fact that you think I am. That's hilarious. I don't even play one on TV. All right. Not a problem. Okay. Yeah, and it does. And it takes practice. Okay. It takes practice. All right. So 16. All right. Anyone that needs assistance, thinking about needs a tutor, make sure you reach out to me. Okay. That's the only way. Send me a message. Just go ahead to DM, or there's a Service Plus button somewhere around there. If you click on it, you can get all my information and you just message me. Okay. That's the only way. Just message me. All right. 7 horses. Now this one may be a little step up. 7 horses are running a race. How many different ways could the horses finish the race? Is it A, 54, B, 150,400, C, 5,040, D, 50,400? Okay. And this is when, like, a lot of people are like, this is hard, I'm about to leave. No, do not leave. Okay, you got less than 15 days, well, boy. All right. Hey, reach out to me. Reach out to me. Okay. Your daughter needs help with math. All right, welcome on in. Thank you for the follow. Also, message me if you won't need me for tutoring. Oh, I think someone's getting it. I think I saw. Okay, I see 2 people, I think. All right. Oh, 3. I've seen a couple, 3, 4. Oh, yes. Okay. Yes, the universal language. Yes. Okay. I'm seeing some people. Some people are giving me the answers. I'm seeing some D's and I'm seeing a lot of C's. And I'm seeing that magical word called factorial. Now, anytime they say different ways, okay? When it comes to, but see, this is my saying different ways, finishing the race. Now, different ways, you're either using what's called combination or permutation. Combination, it could be like, how many different ways can I organize, I don't know, what do I have here? How many different ways can I organize these stacks of index cards? There's no order whatsoever. One doesn't have to be 1, another one doesn't have to be second or first. It doesn't have a particular order. But when you're in a race and you're finishing, there's got to be an order. Who's going to finish first? Who's going to finish second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and so on. So this is when you have called a factorial. Since this is basically a 7 to 7 type of things, there's 7 horses with how many different possibilities? We got our 7 factorial. 7 factorial means it's not just 7 screaming on the top of your lungs. It means you're doing 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. The factorial is telling you you're taking this number, starting with this number, and you're multiplying all the numbers that are lowest all the way to 1. Okay? So we could, do your multiplication any which way, but it's not going to be over 100,000. That's too much. And it's surely not going to be 54 because, no. So the only best thing, you're looking between 5,000 and you're looking at 50. Well, there's no hundreds. They're all 1-digit numbers. So it's not going to take me into the 10,000s or the 100,000s. So our answer is going to be C. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So when you see anything they're talking about doing things in different ways and they didn't say anything about order, that's combination. So you're just multiplying what we got. But since we're dealing with finishing the race, order is involved. And I think some people may see it like this, like with the 7 and the 7. Some people might see it like that, but we got the whole factorial. Okay. Okay. What happens if you have a huge number? Victory, you're going to be multiplying like there's no tomorrow. But I'm going to tell you, on these tests, they're not going to try to go too crazy with the numbers. Because especially if you're doing like a high school equivalent or ASVAB, I can't even speak right now, or the ASVAB, you're not going to see super large numbers because you are basically doing math without a calculator. Okay. All right, so we have, let me zoom in for you. So we have 7 squared raised to the second power. So is my answer A, B, C, or D? Okay, so I'm seeing some C's and some D's. Okay, I got C's, I got D's, a whole bunch of D's now. Okay, 1 random, 2 random C's, an A. Jared just kind of throwing it in there. Okay, whole bunch of D's. All right, good. Subject's always been math. April, I feel you. Believe it or not, I used to suck at math. Now look at me. I'm teaching math on TikTok. Don't ask me how this happened. I've been a classroom teacher for 22 years. Really, do not ask me how this happened. All right, so PEMDAS inside the parenthesis, or you can, since you have a power being raised to a power, you can think of it as 7 to the 4th power. Remember, when you see an exponent, a parenthesis, and an exponent, you're multiplying your exponents. So this is basically the same as saying 7 times 7 times 7 times 7. Okay, so if you want to group them, 7 times 7 gives me 49. So you got 49 times 49. Let me show you a little trick, sir. So if I'm going to multiply these, I know 9 times 9 gives me 81. So in my 1 spot, it's going to be a 1, right? So that means in my 1 spot, I should have 1s. A and B are gone because in the 1 spots, they had 3s. Okay, you see how we can like simplify it a little bit? Then we have 9 times 4, that gives me 36. Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. I did not. It was just coming on. All right, so 9 times 4 gives me 36. 36 plus 8 gives me blah, 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 44. So then you have your 9 times 4 gives me 36. So take a look. Even though I'm going to be carrying a 3 over here, if I add these two, it's going to give me a 0. So I got my 1, I got a 0. What else is giving me 1 and 0? Option D. Okay, option D is giving me the 1 and 0. So sorry. Okay, so if I did the 49 times 49, 9 times 9 gives me 81, gives me a 1. So if I know my 1's column is going to be a 1, get rid of A and B because they both have 3's. Continuing on, 9 times 4 gives me 36, plus that 8 gives me 44. Then 4 times 9 gives me 36, drop the 6, carry the 3. But I know I'm going to be adding these two numbers up, right? So my 1's, I'm going to have a 1. 4 plus 6 gives me a 10, so that means I'm dropping the 0, carrying a 1. I don't need to do the rest of this because of this. So I got 1, 4, and I got 1, 0. 1, 0 is going to be my answer. Okay. Why did you cross multiply? I'm not sure. Got any advice for Calc 2? I am not in Calc 2. That's not my jam. That's not my jam. All right. Yep. But see, did you do it manually or did you do it with a calculator, Leo? Hey, Big Al, how are you? Because remember, can't use a calculator. Just like with sports, the way you practice is the way you play in games. All Germany, congrats! First 100 and many, many, many more. All right, so we have x plus 4 times x plus 2. Is my answer A, B, C, or D? Okay, I do geometry for my tutoring sessions only. Okay, so I got some B's, I got some D's. Isn't there a formula for this? Are paying off? Good. Good job, mind. All right, so we got some D's, we got some D's, we got some D's, got a random A. All right, so here's the easiest way. Well, I know if I did the distributive property, okay, you guys know it as FOIL. because it's a binomial multiplied by a binomial. So if I do x times x, I'm going to get x squared. Well, that doesn't help me because all of my options are x squares. But if I multiply the 4 and the 2, I'm going to get 8. So that means A is gone as well as C because their last digits were 6s, not 8s. But then you're like, well, this one has an 8x, this one has a 6x. Well, if I multiply these two and I multiply these two, here 4 times x gives me 4x. Here x times 2 gives me 2x. If I add those two together, I'm going to get 6x. Okay, your favorite pen? Okay, you're going to get 6x. All right, hello, Blue Lily. All right, where did the 8 come from? 4 times 2. Okay, all right, so 4 times 2. All right, so remember, it's basically doing the distributive property. If you just want to do the distributive property, you have your x plus 4 and your x plus 2. I know I'm going to distribute this x to everything. You can do it that way. And then take this 4 and distribute to everything in the second parenthesis. So x times x gives me x squared. So that didn't help me for any of these because all of them were x squares. But I know if I distribute that 4 and that 2, I'm going to get an 8. So the only ones that ended with 8 was B and D. But in order for me to get the middle term, either an 8x or a 6x, I need to distribute. So x times 2, that gives me 2x. And 4 times x gives me 4x. So right smack in the middle right here, we're going to add those two together because they're like terms. So 2x plus 4x, that's where the 6x came from. And that's why your answer choice is D. Okay. All right. Whoa, someone asked, why can't you just multiply the x and add the 4 and 2, then multiply the 4 and 2? Yeah, it's a whole pattern, Daniela. There's a whole pattern. You'll get an answer, but it's not going to be right. This study guide book. Okay. Let me take a moment to take a look. While I'm looking at your comments, before I get to 19 and 20, if you guys can just do a mad tap. Let's see if we can do a mad tap for like 1 minute, and I'll even time it. So I'm going to take a moment to look at some of your comments because sometimes you guys are putting some good questions in there, and I'm like, I feel bad that I'm skipping people, not because purposely, because I can't see your comments. It just goes by so quick. Okay. Okay, we got the foil. Okay, we got those. Alright. Alright. Yep. Foil. Okay. Alright. Thanks, Ming Ming. Yeah, so Kit Kat, that's basically what I do. It's just the distributive property. It's foiling. But most people get so caught up with which one's the first, which one's the outer, which one's the inner. And it just gets all kinds of cray-cray. All right, good. Don't know how to identify the solutions to Only problem, you don't know how to identify the solutions to the equation. So when we do this distributive property, JWIG, I'm trying to figure out, oh, so you're trying to figure out which one of these will go with this. Okay. How to get the 6. A plus sun over here. Okay. Well, okay. Gonna have similar questions. So user 37, yes. ASVABs will have similar questions. This plus the arithmetic reasoning, the word problems. Okay. I think I got everything. Factor by grouping, don't have to go that far. I do not teach business calculus. Sorry. And I do private tutoring for like algebra 1, algebra 2, some parts of geometry. Hey, Anthony. Trying to figure out. I think I got everybody. If I didn't, can you just re-enter your question? Because like this thing. Okay, this I just got off the internet. Literally all I did was just typed in practice problems. Boom. And that's what happened. Okay. Sorry I had to do that puzzle piece thingy. All right. Okay, so here we are. So for number 19, 7 yards plus 14 feet. Is it A, 30 feet, B, 35 feet, C, 38 feet, or D, 40 feet? How did I become a private tutor? I just put my name out there. Yep, you don't have to get any certification. There's some people that are like, oh yeah, you need to be a certified. I'm like, I was already a certified teacher, so just go ahead and ask around. Yeah, with the foiling. Is FOIL taught in Algebra 1 or Algebra 2? Algebra, actually. For us in Maryland, it's Algebra. Differential equations. Okay. I think. Almost ready, Anthony. Do you have practice sheets like this? I do not. Okay. All right. So I'm getting some B's. I'm getting some B's. Getting some B's. So I get some B's. Is a yard 3 feet? Yes. 3 feet to 1 yard. What's harder? Learning algebra or learning fractions? It depends on you. For me, it was fractions. Okay, definitely 35. Okay, we got 698. Oh, hi, Firefly. How are you? I haven't seen you in a minute. All right, so we got that. You're stuck on fractions. We got a B's, the same. Yeah, it's really going to be depending on you. Okay, it's a spam. All right. Don't have a heck for it. Okay. All right, so let's take a look. Okay, first thing, and especially if you're taking the TEAS exam, the HESI exam, GED, but TEAS and HESI, they weigh heavy on conversions, okay? Huge. All right, especially milliliters to liters, yeah, all that. So first off, we need to know that 1 yard is equivalent to 3 feet. So if we had 7 yards, that means that has to be 21 feet. Because 7 times 3 gives me 21. Add 14 to that. So you have 21 and 14. That gives me a 5. That gives me a 35. And it's not 35 feet squared, it's just feet because we're just adding them. Okay. All right. So that's all we had to do. That's it. Well, 5 touchdowns. Are we including the extra points? A lot of people keep thinking touchdowns are like 7. Nope, 6. But you get the extra point. All right, 20. What is 14% of 42? What is 14% of 42? For the PERT? Yes, I do tutor for the PERT. So is it A, 6.2, B, 4.8, 6, 5.9, or D, 6.3? 6 and 2/10, 4 and 4 and 8. 4 and 8/10, 5 and 9/10, 6 and 3/10. All right, hey Danielle, welcome on in. Okay. All right, so I'm seeing a whole bunch of C's. Got a couple B's. All right, I'm seeing a whole bunch of C's. I got an A. All right, got a whole bunch of C's and B's and D's and C's. Okay, all right. So what, which is we don't know, is, which means equals, 14% of, which means multiplication, 42. Okay. Hi, I love Lucy. All right. So that means we need to change this 14% to a decimal, which is going to be 14 hundredths. Multiply that by 42. Okay. So when you multiply, we got our 42.14. This is going to be 2 decimal places. We need to figure that out later. 2 and 4 is 8. 4 and 4 is 16. 2 and 1 is 2. 4 and 1 is 4. Bring down my 8. Bring down my 8. Bring down my 5. So since it's 2 decimal places, starting on the end, 1, 2. So my decimal point is between the 5 and the 88. But since their answers are in tenths, that means I need to round this. 5 and above, we give it a shove. So we're going to add 1 to this 8. That's why it's 5.9. And the answer is C. Okay. All right. Okay, almost done. Yep, because you have to do that rounding. All right, 21. What is the mean of the numbers 10, 28, 50, 71, and 91? What is my mean? Is it A, 28, B, 50, C, 55, or D, 57? And we could probably kill 2 birds with 1 stone, but we'll do it one at a time. What does mean mean? Mean is your average. When you're dealing with your average, you're adding numbers up and dividing by how many numbers that you have. Or how many numbers in the data set. Good, I'm seeing lots of B's. Okay. Lots of B's, a couple of C's, lots of B's, good. Lots, couple of 50s. Sure. I'm gonna scoot over which way. Okay. All right, so good. So we need to add. We have our 10, our 28, our 50, our 71, our 91. So we need to add all those numbers up. So 8, 9, 10, carry a 1. So we have our 9 and 1, that makes 10. Then we have 11, 12, 13. Then we have our 14s, which gives us our 25. So we have 250. And there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So that means our 250 divided by 5. So we know that 25 can be divided by 5 times. And that extra 0, tack it on the end. So our answer is going to be B, 50. All right. 22. Negative 14 divided by 7. Seriously, people. A, negative 2, B, 2, C, either A or B, or D, negative 7. What do we got? I should see a whole C. Okay, it's not an absolute value, it's just straight division. Okay, so it's not an absolute value, it's a straight division. Okay. Okay, so negative 14 divided by 7. When they are opposite signs, your answer is always going to be negative. Then 14 divided by 7 gives me 2. Your answer should be A. Okay, it's going to be A. All right. I know, right? Okay, 23. What is the sum of the angles of the shape below? Is it A, 90 degrees, B, 45 degrees, C, 180 degrees, D, 360 degrees? And it's raining C's. Of course, I got A in there. Okay. Got a whole bunch of C's. Got 90s. I'm seeing some 180s. A whole bunch of 180s. People are just throwing in random letters. Roy. All right. So, this is a triangle. So we have this angle, this angle, this angle. And if you saw it earlier, I said no matter what kind of triangle it is, the sum of these angles always equals 180 degrees. Okay. Triangles 180 degrees, quadrilaterals 360. All right, 24, 72 is what percent of 108? Okay. Why is it 180 degrees? If you stretch that bad boy out, okay, it will always give you 180 degrees. A straight line is 180 degrees. Okay, so I'm seeing C's, D's, A's. Okay, more C's, couple D's. Okay, got my 2/3. Okay, I know. I know. Okay, saying none of the above. Dividing, we're saying the answer is D. Let's take a look. All right, 72 is, which is equals, what percent? We don't know. That's our unknown. Of 108. So in order for me to solve for this, I need to solve for x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 108. But remember, they want the percent. Okay? So we can try to simplify it. We can try to just straight divide it. But no matter what you get, you're going to have to take that answer and multiply by 100. because we're looking for the percent. All right. So we can probably try to simplify, but no matter what, you are going to get 66.6. You feel the heat on the back of your neck? The devil's breathing in here. All right. So it is going to be C. All right. It's all right. All right. Yep, it's C. If you don't believe me, we'll even calculate it up just for this time because I have to hurry up so I can get ready for my next client. So we have 72 divided by 108. Okay, look at all that, feel the heat, but then you have to multiply it by 100 because you need the percentage. So that will give you your 66.6666666. Okay. All right. There you go. All right. And coming to the last page for the last problem. All right, ready? Eventually it's going to stop being blurry. I don't know why it's so blurry. Hold on. Un moment. There we go. Just like everything in life, it takes a little time. All right. Solve for B. 3B equals 3. Is it A, 1, B, 2, C, 4, or D, 5? Make it rain. Yes. Yes. There we go. Yes. Leaving on a good note. Confidence builder. So refreshing. I know. Simple math. Yep. This is it. Thank you so much for the love. Hi, Michael. All right. All right. So it's not so much you hate math. You just hate how you felt when you were in math class. You felt that you didn't understand what was going on. You felt that you didn't know, and people made you feel stupid. But you're not. Okay? It just takes some time. Step by step. All right. So if I can be here and break this lovely stuff down, you can do math. Because for me, fractions, nope. Word problems, hell no. Wouldn't want to do any of that. Okay. Yep. So all we have to do is the opposite. Yes. So when they give you the multiplication, you do the inverse, which is division. So I divide both sides by 3. Or you can just figure out, if you want to do substitution, you're like 3 times what will give me 3? It's going to be 1. All right. So you bubble it, circle it, move on. Don't celebrate. Oh my God, I think I got one. Just keep it moving. All right. So this was originally for the ASVAB, but as you can tell, this also helps with a lot of general math. It helped a lot with your GED or high school equivalency. It helps you with your current math. Some people say they're learning this currently in their classroom, and they're probably like middle school students or even 9th grade students. And if you look at all of these problems, it's something that everyone can use, you know, especially when it comes to algebra. So when it comes down to the math knowledge for the ASVAB, you're going to see a lot of this basic mathematics. So as I mentioned before, if you came a little bit later and you're like, man, what did she do early on? Give me some time to upload it. Okay, you can go here, type in that, and I would love for you to do this. Okay, all of my replays from February 2nd is available. It's under a playlist called TikTok Lives. I know, it's a really inventive name, but here we are. So If you're looking to do a little more reviewing, if you are currently about to take the test, like relatively close, maybe a couple weeks, and you need assistance with it, be it the GED, the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, maybe even your college algebra courses, because some people are doing that as well. I also tutor with geometry. Just let me know. That's the only way that I'm going to know. And the more time that you let time fly by, the worse it's going to get. Now, as I said, this is what I have. I do private tutoring. I can also do small groups. But if you're just like, you know what, I need a course, I need a class, but I don't want to go to my local community college, you can actually go here to get the knowledge. So when it's time for you to take the test, you'll be able to understand it. It's me alone, okay? I have 107 videos. Of the videos, they all hit all the concepts. If you're doing T's or any of the nursing program, or maybe the IBEW to be an electrician apprentice, even the praxis, if you just want to do like a refresher, the foundation to algebra is going to be the one for you. But I do have for GED, the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, and this is where you can go. So I'm going to take that down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, I do not have worksheets on my website. Social work test? I don't know about that, Valerie. You might have to educate me on that one. So definitely message me. So do I break it down into videos? Yes, I do, Jada, because my videos are easily 20 minutes long. You also have practice problems in there. I also give you extra practice sheets and quizzes just to make sure that you're on the right path. But if you are looking for something to help organize your thoughts, I also have math notebooks. So normally when I come in here, I usually go through a couple of problems, a couple situations in my math notebook, which this is what I generally sell. So the math notebook is usually like plain Jane, but it has a lot of resources in the back. So this gives you your factor sheet. So from factors from 1 to 200 is completely listed here. It helps you break down radicals. It helps you break down square roots and factors. Then also it gives you the most popular terminology that's used for whatever operation. So adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, equals, as well as inequalities. Give you the list of your perfects. So your perfect square, square roots, cube, and cube roots. And so also gives you the rules of integers. I'm going to have to do this flip-flop thing. Then we have inequalities, so you know which one is going in which direction, interval notation. Then you have order of operation here in the US and internationally. Properties of exponents, we did a few of these. Linear, quadratics, equations, also fractions, operations for adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, as well as decimal operation, doing the same thing. Then you have your place values. Then you have your percents and decimals, arithmetic and geometric sequences. And you guys are going to see a lot, especially ASVAB, GED, and ACCUPLACER. You're going to see a lot of distance, speed, and time formulas. So you're going to need to memorize this bad boy. It will help you so much. Graphing inequalities, Pythagorean theorem, we just did that. A little bit of trig, volume and surface area, as well as I said before, the conversion chart. So this is in the back of my notebooks. Okay, this one is for Algebra 1. This one is for Algebra 2 and pre-calculus. So same thing. This is what it looks like without the writing in it. It has like 100 pages where you can do it. The one thing that makes it different is the different types of resources in the back. Okay, so you get more of some similarities, but then you have logs and exponentials, Then we have acceleration and velocity. Then we have the conic sections, unit circle. All right, a little bit more with sine and cosine, including their waves. Then we have the trig identities. And last but not least, Pascal's triangle. So just basic concepts that a lot of people generally mess up on. So we have those and that. If you're a lefty, this is the only left-handed notebook that I have seen that is designed for math. So this one is for my Algebra 1. Notice how it opens. You have all your references stuff in the back, and then you have the notes piece in the front. Okay, but you can't get this. These you can get on the A, but the left-handed edition, that is in, whoops, my thing, which I don't know where it went. Oh, here it is. Okay, so if you do, you just can go here, and I'm going to take this down in. So for the GED, you can use the first one that I showed you, which is going to be this one. Okay, remember, it's going to be empty. It's just basically a notebook, but it gives you all the resources that you'll need to pass for the GED. So this one I will recommend for GED and ASVAB. Okay, all right. So the other thing that I have that is ready to go are my Audrey's notes. So you've seen my notes, okay? If you want, hey Audrey, I want your notes. I like the color of it. I like the organization of it. I want this. All right, well, right now I'm working on book 6, which is this one. But I have a collection called Audrey's Notes. So it's basically all of my notes that I have here on TikTok, just put all into one book. So if you notice, each of the concepts have a QR code. If you scan the QR code, it will take you directly to the TikTok live, okay, that I did. So this one was finding the asymptotes. So if you scan this, it will take you directly to the live. And then you can follow along, like how I got this. What is the breakdown? How did I explain it? Okay, all of that is going to be on there. Okay, so you can use this as a follow along. I've known some of the homeschool parents use it. I've also known that some classroom teachers were using it as reference for some of their advanced students. So this has books 1 through 5 ready to go. So again, you can either get that here. It will take about a week for you to get it. But if you order it off of the A, you know, the A, the brown box with the smiley face on it, you can just order it from there as well. Okay. All right. Hey, Lynette. Okay, you want the Audrey's notes? Here you go. So either you can go here or you can go on the A to order yours. And it'll go directly to you. Okay. Oh, well, thanks, Big Al. I appreciate you. Appreciate you guys. All right. So, of course, I'm working on other things. I'm going to try to get them ready. But it takes time. But we're going to just have these. These are the things I have now. All right. Not a problem, Sugar Plum. Not a problem. So unless you guys have any other questions, because soon enough I'm going to have to get myself ready for my tutoring session. So you're going to have to do a long division. So you're going to have to do a long division. There you go. Okay. So the 72 was here, and then the 108 was here, and then you had to put your zeros down. Yep. And then you have to ask yourself how many 108s can go into 72. Well, that'd be 0. How many 108s can go into 720? You put your answer here, and then you work it on down. Okay. Okay. For the book, it's this one. Now, if you guys are in need of a tutor, go ahead and just message me. And please message me. Like, don't just say hi, because I'm going to delete it. Because there's just too many scammers and creepies that's out there that just want to just say that. Okay. All right. No problem. Okay, surely. So just go ahead and direct message me. Even though we're not friends, I'm always checking. I forgot what the thing's called. Recommended or something like that. So just still send me a message. I always check those things. Alrighty. Okay, plague nurse. Sure. Have fun with that. I don't know. How often do I go live? I go live. Well, yesterday was way too intense for me. So I try to go live every day, but I'll definitely be live tomorrow. But it's going to have to be a quick live because I'm starting to get more and more clients. So if it's either a quick live during the day or it might have to be late night, like around 9:45 Eastern Standard Time on Thursday, because I got a lot of kiddos. Alrighty, well, thank you so much for the tapping. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Again, if you want to watch a replay, give me some time to download it from here so I can upload it there. And you can watch all of my other videos and just let this thing grow. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great evening and continue to be awesome. And just take care of yourselves. Okay. All right. Bye now.